Well, hey guys, what's up? It's the Micro Garden, and I got a pretty exciting episode for you guys today. I just recently got in from college. It's late. I've been driving all day. I've just had a terrible week. So the first thing I want to do is just film because you'd be surprised at how easily my stress gets relieved when I'm filming, working with plants, and it's actually scientifically proven to lower your stress levels. So I just wanted to do this. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'm like, you know what? I've just been having one of those weeks. You know, those weeks where everything just seems to be going wrong, and you just, it was bad. It was a bad week. So yeah, but I'm actually wearing a shirt that my girlfriend got me. So I thought she's away. She's on a trip. I miss her a ton, and so thank you so much because she watches all my videos. And yeah, so on with the video. I decided today that I'm going to be doing a video on kind of getting to know your plants. And it actually seems kind of dumb, but it's actually not that dumb when you think about it, because different plants require a whole assortment of different things. And when you plant, let's say, a banana, it has a whole lot of different needs than, let's say, a lemon or a pomegranate. And getting to know your plants and the habitat that they grow in kind of will help you know the soil type to add. I mean, I keep all my soil types the same. I figure if they don't want to grow in the soil that I'm giving them, they can go die. But, I mean, I know it seems a little harsh, but really that's the case. But as far as watering amounts and nutrient levels, huge. Absolutely an absolute must. I give all of them about the same amount of nutrients, but the one thing that I do change up quite a bit is water levels, and that's what I'm going to go around and show you, kind of show you how I get to know my plants. And it really just is based on how much research you want to do. You can find out just about anything you want, but Google is your best friend. I mean, I'm not promoting Google, but they're really the only search engine out there that can give you exactly what you want pronto. So just type in the plant name, and normally you can find what genus it is, what species it is, the family it's in, I mean, growing habits, fruit, pictures, anything you want to know about it. It's amazing. It's a great way to find out about your plant. And I use that for every single plant. Once you get all that done, the bulk of it, it's just simple. And then you just take what you learn. Let's say if it's a desert plant, you're going to want to water that a lot less than if you do that with a jungle plant. And you can simply find that out by just clicking search, typing it in, then clicking search, then going to like even Wikipedia. I know people say Wikipedia isn't a reliable source, but Wikipedia is where I get all my information on all my plants and some other sites here and there. But for the most part, I use Wikipedia, and it'll tell you exactly where it's grown, and the climate that it's grown in. So that really, really helps you out a lot. That's going to be your best friend right here. So I'm going to bring you guys in close. I'm going to show you some different examples of how I get to know my plants, and then how I water my plants based on the knowledge that I gain. Alright, so here we have our assortment of plants here, and I'm not going to bring you in for a close-up, but because I'm just saying that there's a whole lot of different variety here. Now, the one thing you see is citruses, and citruses are generally grown in hot climates, and this baby right here needs some water. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the plant. It's a citrus plant. It likes to be grown in sandy soil, well-draining soil that's very fertile. It's also grown by the sea, so it's kind of based on climates, and climates is hot and humid. So obviously we have the humidity in the air. I always keep that about the same for all the plants. But the one thing you want to change is the water. Now in the springtime, you want to make sure that in the summertime it gets a little bit drier. But in the wintertime, that's their wet season. So during the wintertime, what I try to do, the best way to make sure that you have a lot of success indoor gardening is by making sure that their natural habitat is kind of brought out in the way you garden. So what I'm going to do is I let my plants dry out, but in between waterings, I will soak them, because I soak them and then I won't water for a little while, obviously because I'm away at college. But I give this one more water than I would, your average normal plant. And that's because I have some different watering skills, but a citrus, it's grown in Florida, it's grown in California, and they get quite a bit of rainfall compared to a desert, let's say. But they get a lot less rainfall than a rainforest. So, I mean, I'm not too scientific about it, but I did give it all that water because it's going to definitely use it. And I also fertilized right then as well. I added a little bit of fish emulsion in with my mix, and it's going to really, really enjoy that. So now I'm going to actually show you a banana and show you how much I typically will water a banana. And keep in mind, the pot size definitely matters as well. I watered this plant a lot because it's a huge plant. I would never water that much to some of my smaller citruses. Right, so I'm here with my banana plant. And the banana plant is going to get a lot of water. I make sure to soak this whenever I do anything. I will soak this so that it's very, very, very wet. I'll also get the leaves. I'll get all this. I'll just drench it. Because the thing you want to make sure is that its climate is as closely maintained as possible. This one gets just about the same amount of water here. And the reason I'm doing this is because bananas are tropical. They are usually grown in rainforests, so you want to make sure the humidity is high and they get lots and lots of water. Another one that you're going to want to water quite a bit, but not really soak, is the vanilla. Now the vanilla bean doesn't like a whole lot of water, but it likes the humidity to be pretty high. So keep that in mind as well when you're growing vanilla. High humidity. It grows in the jungle, and with the jungle comes high humidity. Right, two plants that typically don't require a whole lot of maintenance is your cactus varieties. This is a prickly pear here, and I rarely water this. I mean, I will water this maybe twice a month, and I give it about a cup of water per month, or I give it about a cup of water twice a month. And that's just because it rarely ever waters in the desert, so you don't need to water it in your house. Then another thing is the goji berry. The goji berry is extremely drought tolerant, and also the habitat that it grows in, it rarely ever grows in a climate where it rains a whole ton, so you don't want to water it that much anyways. And as you can see, it's doing absolutely great. I water this about 4 times a month, about a cup of water, so about a cup of water a week. And, you know, it does absolutely fine. You don't need to water it a whole ton, and it's actually pretty self-reliant. It grows itself. Now, one that you wouldn't really expect to need a whole lot of maintenance, but actually requires quite a bit, is actually pistachio. Now, the pistachio, this is where the research comes in. I had no clue anything about pistachio. But it turns out pistachios are actually grown in Turkey, and they're very finicky plants. They like their pH to be a certain level, and they also like their rain to be a certain level. They're not a very drought-tolerant plant, but they don't like to be wet all the time either. They are actually a sub-desert plant, and sub-desert means that it's right on the fringe between a desert and a tropical rainforest, so or like a Greenland area by kind of mountains. So the way that they actually cultivate these is actually right in between a desert and mountains, which is like Turkey and there's some other countries, but Turkey is a huge one, and Pakistan, places like that. They grow these, and they grow absolutely great. So you really don't want to water them a whole lot. But again, this is just a prime example of the fact that I never would have known this if I would have ever researched this plant. If I would have never researched this plant, I would have never known how it grew, and I probably would end up killing it. Same thing goes for the olive. Olives grow in the mountains of Europe. I mean, you typically don't want to water these a whole lot, but then again, they do have their rainy seasons, so depending on the season, I'll water it either a cup a week, or I'll typically not water it hardly at all. Maybe I'll water it a cup every 2 weeks, and that's just because that's the way it grows. Same thing with the miracle berry. The miracle berry is a tropical fruit. I'll water it quite a bit, but when I do water, about every 2 weeks, I'll water it with a cup of cold coffee, and that way I can keep the acidity high, and I can also make sure that the plant thrives because, again, it likes high humidity and it likes quite a bit of water. So thank you guys for coming along with me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you guys learned something. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.